Greetings, dear ladies and gentlemen. This is the final and also the most easiest part of the exam, the speaking test. You'll usually just need 15 to 20 minutes, although there is no time limit for this, of course. Actually, there is, but I'll explain. So, for the part one, there will be three parts for the speaking test. The first part is the interview. So it's all about yourself. The IELTS examiner, he's going to just ask some questions about yourself. You just need to describe it as elaborately as you can. The second part is the cue card speech. You'll have some sort of card. Well, it depends on your luck. Sometimes the examiner leaves it up to you. He will just leave some cards. Just one moment. He will just leave some cards on the table. Actually, these are just playing cards. Obviously, it's not going to be like this. This is just an example. So there will be cards on the table. Like, I'm once again saying that the situation could be different. Like, it varies from place to place. It all depends on your luck for part two of the speaking test. He will either leave all the cards on the table for you to choose, or the worst case possible, he or she will take out a card by random, and then he's gonna he or she will tell you to talk about it. So basically, the main purpose of the cue cards is that there'll be a particular question or a topic provided in the card, and you have to talk about it non-stop for 2 minutes until actually the 2 minutes. It's not going to be exactly 2 minutes, like by looking at the clock or something. It'll be just you just need to keep talking until the examiner stops you. If the examiner is satisfied by your talking style, that he or she thinks that you've got quite an efficient skill in talking, then not a problem at all. Like, he or she will just tell you that, okay, you may stop now, because the examiner has already made their decision in their heads. That is to say that in the cue card speech, before you begin, he or she will give you around 1 minute to prepare beforehand, or maybe not. It depends on your luck. Like, he or she will give you a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, and you just need to note down whatever that comes to your head in just 60 seconds. I know. I've been through this as well. It provides some sort of sensation that makes you feel nervous, even though you're confident. Like, no matter how confident you are in talking, whenever you're faced with someone, I mean to say that the atmosphere itself is going to feel very scary. And all I can do to motivate you is just to try to tell you that, imagine that you have known that person as a friend since you were young, but over the last couple of years you haven't met each other for a long time, and then think that the examiner in front of you is a long lost friend who has turned out to be really successful, and now he's become a CEO of something or somewhat, and now he's trying to interview you. Yeah, it sounds really awkward, but it's just one of the possible ways that you can calm yourself down. And if you're once you're done talking about the per topic, for example, it's not that hard, actually, to be honest. If a person just casually walks up to you and then tries to ask you about your favorite movie or your favorite food or your favorite restaurant, don't you think that you can just go on and keep talking about it for hours and hours? Well, think about it. Hours and hours is 1 hour is 60 minutes, and 2 minutes is just 1/30. 1/30th. That's 3.33% of the usual time that we spend talking about things we love. So think about it. Can't you just spend 2 minutes talking about a particular topic that someone told you to talk about? It's actually quite easy. The only difficulty and the only obstacle over here is your own fear and anxiety. Just try to make sure you keep them down. So after you're done talking for 2 minutes straight about the topic, here comes the showtime. The part three of the speaking test is the discussion part. Now there will be a longer duration of talking about personal opinions based on the cue card topic that you have got. Like this time, the examiner will ask you questions once again, just like the part one, the interview part. But this time, instead of answering your, instead of answering the questions to the point, you have to talk about your own personal opinions. Of course, there are no right or wrong answers in this one as well. Like whenever you get some sort of discussion type answer question, then you'll have the freedom to choose between which side you want to represent. Like you can go for or against the topic in question. And to increase your speaking skills, I can suggest a few methods. One would be to practice speaking English everywhere with friends, at work, at home, on the phone, etc. You can also consider recording yourself with a phone or a tape recorder, and then you play it and then listen to it to judge yourself on your own. You have to be confident that you yourself alone can allow yourself to be recorded on the actual exam day, because of course it will be recorded. There will be a neat little mic located at the center of the table, which will record your entire conversation with the examiner in the room, and the rest is history. So the examiners are actually trying to take an assessment on how well you can express your ideas and opinions in good English. It doesn't mean that you have to speak in an American accent or a British accent, or neither does it mean that you have to talk really fast, like blah 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 blah. No. It's got nothing to do with that. You just need to talk clearly and fluently. Clearly means that you're talking in a way that anyone can easily understand. Your words are not just random words thrown into some sentence and like everything is grammatically correct. And fluently, like the fluency means that you're talking without taking a break. Like you're not taking a deep pause suddenly out of nowhere. Like, you're talking and then suddenly you pause. And then in your head, you're stuck. Oh no, you don't know what to do next. Just calm down. That is exactly what you need to try to avoid. Okay, I'm trying to tell you this so that you can avoid this sort of scenario in the actual exam day. Just be careful about the tense, like past, present, and future tense when used in the questions. And you also need to practice the pronunciation of numbers. For example, some numbers sound very familiar with each other when they're spoken, like 30, 30, 30, and 13, 13, 13, 40, and 14, 40, and 14, 50, and 15, etc. And don't simply say, if you're asked something like, do you like this? Or how about this? Do you feel that this is the way that people should, do this? Don't just say that, yes, I do, or no, I don't. You have to answer it as much detail as you can. And try to give examples from your own experience, because everyone loves stories, right? Like, think about it. Even in your everyday life, even in your own native language, what makes a conversation joyful and lively? It's the stories and a sense of curiosity behind each and every sentence. Like you want to know what's going on, and you want to be interested about what's being spoken about. Something like that. And you have to try to answer as fully as possible and give some reasons for your answer. This will help you to use a wider range of vocabulary and grammar. For example, if you're asked about what is your most favorite place to visit, and you answer something like, yes, my favorite place to visit is my grandparents' place. That is just a dull and boring answer. You're repeating most of the words from the question itself. A well-organized answer would be something like this. That, yes, I surely do love the scent of fresh fruits and flowers in my grandparents' place, which is why I can certainly say that that is the most favorite place I want to visit. Now that, that is just an example. There are plenty of good examples, and of course, you can obviously change the words and synonyms to structure differently. I'm not trying to go too deep into that. If you need to pause, then you can use some clever and stylish methods. For example, if you get suddenly stuck that, you're asked something very personal or private, although it will not be the case. Like, just imagine that you have been asked something that you don't have the answer to right away. What do? Don't just stop. Like, that's one of the things that I would always suggest you not to. That lastly and foremost, do not stop or pause. If you do have to stop or pause, stop in your mind, but let your mouth keep rolling. That use some clever or stylish methods, such as, well, I certainly have not thought about this for a long time, but when I try to think about it, I certainly can say, see, like in this way, I really didn't answer the question yet. At the same time, I didn't stop talking or speaking. I'm just trying to continue the train of thoughts and phrases. And meanwhile, I'm letting my head try to figure out what's going on and try to find the answer to the question. The trick above will show the examiner that you're not pausing for searching for words. Instead, you should try to show him or her that you're simply thinking about the topic instead of searching for words. Like the examiners, they'll love to see that you're thinking about the topic, but that doesn't mean that you're just going to stop and make some moody expression like this. That's not thinking. I mean, it is, but to their eyes, it's not thinking. To their eyes, it means something like you suck at English, so that's why you're pausing now. So obviously, you don't want something like that happening, do you? So I think I've spoken too much on this spoken part of the test. So I'll leave it over here. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know if you would love to see more videos about this in the comments. And of course, feel free to check out the videos about the other topics and the other tests as well about IELTS. I've left the links in the description most likely. And if not, you can also see some weird thing popping out over here. All in all, in a nutshell, this is Dewan Mukto, and it's been a heartwarming pleasure to teach you IELTS. I really hope that you can ace your grade. Take care and good luck. Hope you succeed.